live from the Iceplex here at Mullet Arena with the hot dogs in attendance here for the second game between Arizona State and the University of Utah. My name is Colgan Herschel. Welcome to the broadcast here on the ACHA YouTube for D1 ASU hockey. Last night was a 5-2 win for the Utes here in this same arena. Head coach Johnny Walker and his team looking to bounce back after an unfortunate loss for his squad. 5 goals against, which saw Nate Glenn, the starter yesterday, get pulled after 2 periods. Arizona State was outshot 46-23 in last night's contest. They're looking to have a huge bounce-back performance here against the Utes. As always, it's Dr. Ben on the sticks. The best to ever do it. Starting lineups are to be announced here shortly.
Home of your Arizona State Sun Devils. This evening, your Sun Devils finished their 2-game set against the Utah Utes. Here are the starting lineups for tonight's game. First for the visiting Utes, head coached by Morgan Feeney. And right and left defense, number 21, Matthew Delaney. And right defense, number 26, Jake Lorilla. And left wing, number 17, Nicholas Schwab. At center, number 6, Xian Correa. At right wing, number 15, Paul Holthauser. And in goal, number 31, Joseph Graylich. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here's the starting lineup for your Arizona State Sun Devils. Left defense, from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, number 4, Kane Olsen. And right defense, from Kelowna, British Columbia, number 15, Ty Marshall. And left wing, from Bonneville, Alberta, number 92, Mark Ducharme. Right from Hannah, Alberta, number 14, Ryan Cross. And your starting goaltender from Tempe, Arizona, number 29, Hayden Nene. Your Sun Devils are head coached by Johnny Walker. At this time, we'd ask you to please rise if you are able. Kindly remove your caps. And join us as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
I'm muted, right? National anthem is sung here in the Iceplex Arena. Starting lineups have been announced, and it's time to play some hockey. Arizona State will line up with Mark Ducharme, Owen Cross, and Ryan Quast as the first line here tonight. It'll be Ty Marchand and Cade Olsen on defense to begin for head coach Johnny Walker, and Hayden Manning in between the pipes, who came in for the third period yesterday against the Utah Utes. allowed just 1 goal on 13 shots. But for the Sun Devils, it was a 5-2 loss. But for head coach Morgan Feeney on the Utah side, he'll line up with Nicholas Schwab, Giancore, and Paul Waldhauser on the top line, with Matthew Delaney and Jake Laurilla on defense, guarding Joseph Graylich in between the pipes. We're ready to go here in the Iceplex. Opening faceoff.
Big crowd here.
Is underway. Utah is going to begin with possession. In their own defensive zone, they'll dump it in. Won't get far enough past Olsen. Deflected off of a Ute. Kept in at the line, however. Delaney trying to chip it down. Olsen. Cross for Marchant. Arizona State looking to get back in the win column after last night's defeat. Here's Marchant. Working into the zone, will spin back and throw it to the corner. In front now, it's a shot that goes just wide off the stick across. Cleared down the other way. Cade Olsen has to retreat. Nicholas Schwab guarding him. Quast has it go off his stick. Then it goes back to Marchant. It was a chippy game yesterday. Arizona State going 0 for 5 on their power play opportunities. 2 for 5 for the Utes. Turned over in the offensive zone. Kennedy into the middle. Couldn't pull the trigger. That was Carson Kusch. Now it's coming back the other way with the Utes. Brady Schwab will throw it in. Trying to keep it in at the line are the Utah Utes. Unfortunately, it skips out for them. And Joseph Young will have to go back into his defensive zone. It wasn't obvious. Arizona State in the white, maroon, and gold going from left to right, and the Utes in the all black going from right to left. It's in the corners. Utah's going to work it out. Slams it off the boards. Dumped right back in by the Sun Devils. Doesn't get far enough past the line. It's Trevor Kruzchek who will dump it in. Gross, who's on defense tonight for the Sun Devils. He leads Arizona State in points. The grand total of 21, as well as in power play goals. That one is whistled down. Coach Johnny Walker going for a couple of big line changes here tonight after the loss last night.
It's an interesting choice to make there with that. This is a tough team. Last night it was very physical. Maybe he just needs that change in lines to calm the Devils down, so
yeah,
they can put some more in the net.
Yeah, maybe get some offense from the blue line as well. Goal scorers last night for the Sun Devils with Carson Kusch and Ryan Quast, 2 forwards. Just a single defenseman with a point last night. That was Cade Olsen. Puck is still tied up in the corner. It's Gross who comes away with it. Facing a check is King. Utah keeps it and throws it right back on net. Manning to the corner. Once again kept in the line by Utah. Good pressure, but it's Kylie Ram who gets it out. Trying to stick at it was one Sun Devil. Coming into the other way is Karsten Senden. Third line right defenseman here tonight for head coach Feeney. Big hit there on Sovivsky. Coming off the chest of Oliver Kraft. Utah coming back the other way. A nice toe drag. It's in his feet. Thrown right back in front. Can't get a shot away. That was Delaney from the point who was working into the offensive zone. Nice toe drag from him. Sovivsky trying to dump it out. Cannot. Once again with it is Senden. Geffert keeps it in. Big hit attempt from Geffert. He gets the worst of it. Barr has to just chip it back out to his defensive partner, who will throw it in. And too far in as it goes over the netting and out of play. Just a single shot on goal here so far from Utah. None for the Sun Devils.
The Sun Devils would like
Face-off
to
will be at the pitch court.
down behind the Utah net.
We got a little shout out to the hot dogs behind the Utah net. Can see them there. Looking a little chilly. There's a lot of us out here in the Iceplex.
I love a chili dog.
Delaney tried to stick through a couple. Arizona State having an issue with clearing the defensive zone. They haven't had really any sustained offensive pressure through 4 minutes. They might get something here, though, as it's an icing against the Utes. There's a shot of the goaltender tonight, Joseph Grelich. Did not play yesterday for the Utes. 3-3-1 on the season, a .922 save percentage for the 6-footer out of Wisconsin. Face off to his right. Be Ben Chase on the draw for the Sun Devils. Tied up, eventually won by him. Thrown in on net. Coming off of the stick from Caden Butler, and it's soaked up by Grelich. First shot on goal for the Sun Devils here tonight. Look at that. Just keeping it at the line, just trying to get anything on net. Almost surprised Grelich, but you saw at the last minute was able to soak it up. Chase wants to get on the draw. Loses it this time. In the corner. Tried to get it back to Olsen, but couldn't. Utes the other way. Shot blocked there in front by Marchand. Schwab throws it across ice. Here's Marchand. Throws it off the boards. Looking for a racing Newland. He goes in the corner. So Paul Waldhauser who gets it up the ice for Nicholas Schwab. Looked for Giancore, who was crashing. He has to stop up. As Marchand with a nice defensive play will get it back to his partner in Cade Olsen. Marchand looking cross ice. Spin it back for Olsen, who will build some speed through neutral. Cade Olsen now into the corner. Faces a hit, throws it in front, goes wide. Kruzcek falls, but still gets it out. Tipped in off a Sun Devil stick. No icing called. A little bit of trouble behind the net for Manning, but he's able to get it to his defenseman in Luke Chase. Taken down in neutral was Matthew Gross, who we mentioned before, as he's playing defense, was looking for a little bit of offense, but it was the stick of Eric Gibney getting in there. I'll take another look at that. Just clearly a hooking penalty on number 27 in black.
I don't know what 27 in black was trying to play off.
Eric Gibney was trying to pull the string out from under Matthew Gross, and he successfully did that. The Sun Devil power play this season
2 minutes for hooking.
is just 17%,
14:55
ranked 60th
in the first period.
in the nation for D1 hockey teams. So for 81 teams. They win the faceoff in the offensive zone. A miscommunication there from Marchand, as Utah gets the easiest clear that they'll ever have. Marchand and Newland just weren't on the same page. Newland was trying to go behind Marchand, and Marchand wanted to go D-to-D. Here's Matthew Gross, the leader for the Sun Devils in power play goals. Down the left side, loses it off his stick. Throws it around with Newland. Back with Gross, will spin it to Marchand. On the half wall, throws it back to the point. Right back, Marchand, one-timer goes wide. Kept in by Newland. Up at the point, looking across for Marchand was Gross, but they couldn't connect. 1:08 left on the power play for the Sun Devils. Marchand at the blue line. To Gross, left side, throws it in front. Shot fired, they score! Caden Butler is Phoenix, Arizona gives his hometown team a 1-0 lead. Started at the top with Marchand, who gave it to Gross. A one-time pass in for Caden Butler, and he wasted no time finding the 6-hole of Joseph Grelich. Just 17% on the season, 17 power play goals in 100 attempts. But on the 101st, they capitalized, and it's 1-0 ASU.
After that series of miscommunication, to see that come together was great.
It's number 16 here tonight, Brennan Castle. He'll throw it up. Arizona State looking for another. It was Friesen who was crashing to the left, but couldn't connect. Behind the net is Kush. Arizona State looking to use that momentum from the power play goal try and capitalize once again on the Utah Utes. Friesen laying a hit on the right side. Dumped into the zone. Fletcher. Now with Ferry. Friesen behind the net. Kicks it up to Kennedy. Off the glass. Faces a check from Crowley. Here's Kush with a little bit of opportunity. Finds the one coming off the bench. That was Zovivskill. So here comes the Utes back the other way. Constant pressure. Shot fired wide by Foray. He's taken down. Penalty upcoming for the Sun Devils as Manning soaks up and the whistle blows. Be an interference call. See who goes to the box. Still no one heading to the box. Now it looks like number 20, Luke Chase, will go off for ASU.
Sun Devil minor penalty. Number 20,
Actually, that
Luke
penalty went
Chase.
the other way.
2 minutes for interference. Chase 2 for
It's on the power
interference.
play.
Time
Indeed
penalty,
not.
12:48 remaining.
Utah
in the
gets
first
their
period.
first power play
Chase 2 for
opportunity
interference
of the
at
game.
12:48.
25% on the season.
Penalty kill.
Starting at the
Powered by
point
the husband and wife Flossie.
with Corey. On the right side looking for a shot. Walks to the middle. He'll fire off a leg in front. I believe that hit his own teammate Schwab. Arizona State pinning it against the boards, trying to kill some time. That's Cade Olson. But it's the Utes who come away with it as it's poked towards center, and Tyler Kiley Ram gets it down the other end of the ice for the clear. Corey across the ice into the middle, couldn't connect. It's with Delaney. He'll survey across the Corey. Delaney now with Waldhauser. Leading goals, assists, and points for this Utah team. Delaney will fire right in front of Manning, and he stops that one. Rebound comes to Waldhauser. Keeps it in at the line. Here's Corey walking down low, trying to find a pass across. Couldn't connect, but it still gets to the stick of one. That was Trevor Kruzchek, who couldn't find past Manning. Delaney, Corey now to Waldhauser. One-timers deflected over the net. Trying to baseball bat it in front was Delaney, but couldn't connect with that. Thrown around the other end of the ice by Cade Olson, and they get the clear. 30 seconds remaining on Utah's first power play opportunity of the night. Utah with a lot of speed will be whistled for offsides. It was Joseph Young who was having a little bit of pressure. Here's the replay. Great save there with the right pad by Manning. Deny the Utes. 18 seconds left on Utah's power play. 1-0 Sun Devils here in the first period. The Utes who start with possession off the offsides face-off. A nice move around one was Gibney. He'll go behind the net, stop up. Pass in front. Couldn't find the stick of Schwab. Florilla throws it on net, deflected in on Manning, and it goes into his glove off the stick of Gavin Barr, who's the 13th forward tonight here for the Utes as time expires on the Sun Devils power play. Or Sun Devils penalty kill, excuse me. With 4 shots on that power play for the Utes. A successful one at that, except for the fact that they weren't able to get a puck past Hayden Manning. Crowley on the draw for the Utes against Ben Chase, won by Utah. Bisson will throw it on net. Once again, soaked up by Manning in traffic that time for the whistle. Fans slowly flooding in. NCAA team playing on the neighboring rink just a few moments ago. Face-off was briefly won by the Sun Devils, and then they clear. Utah send him. Spins it back to the Bisson. Looks like it was a 4-3 win for St. Cloud State on the other side of the ice. So a home sweep against for the Sun Devils is not what they are looking for from the NCAA team, but the ACHA D1 team right now has a 1-0 lead as Utah comes. Here's Sendin. Across for Kraft. He'll fire into the glove of Manning. He'll hop up and soak it up. Kraft through neutral. Good defense there by the Sun Devils to just force them to the outside, and glove of Manning that was quicker than that. He's looked pretty sharp here to begin this hockey game. Entering the series yesterday, he had a .908 save percentage, 5-8-4 record. His record will not be affected after ASU's loss. Kennedy tried to power his way to the net, but couldn't get it past the defenseman. Skrelich will hold on. Just trying to use that leverage to just force his way to the front of the net. That he made a pass attempt to Ryan Quast, and it was too weak for anything to muster away from it. Just the third shot on goal for the Sun Devils, however, even though they have that 1-0 lead. The assists on the Caden Butler goal to Ty Marchant and Carter Newland. Caden Butler with his 8th goal of the season, 4th on the power play. Shot fired once again in and out of the glove of Manning off the stick of Geffert. She's shoved into the boards after the whistle. Manning with a couple of big saves. There's the hot dogs once again. How are they not freezing? We mentioned the chili dogs earlier.
Yep.
There's no way those are hot dogs. They have to be cold. Corey on the faceoff. He wins it. Delaney, left point. Looking across the ice for one. That was Waldhauser. He couldn't connect. He works his way to the blue line. Firing a shot as Waldhauser. In and out of the glove of Manning once again. Rebound came to Utah off the stick on top of the net. As the whistle will blow. A near break for Utah. And instead it's a lucky bounce for the Sun Devils, which saw the puck bounce on top of the net. Here's the first shot. The pass across. It was just off a stick. And then the skate of the Ute crashing down, and it popped on top of the net and laid there. One of the rather interesting plays that you'll see. I think it's calling for delay of game. I don't think they're going to get it there. Manning around for Olsen, who just slams it up the boards. Kept him at the line by Delaney. He'll go into the corner, working his way to the net. Trickles on Manning. As with the right pad, he makes the stop. Sun Devils were trying to just throw it around the boards, but couldn't complete it as Delaney kept it at the line, and Manning was able to stop it. Corey loses the faceoff this time. Olsen to Marchant, who will throw it up the boards. Utes turn it over. Olsen off the boards once again to Friesen. The deflected in. Kept in at the line. Marchant. Shot fired by King, blocked in front. Utah gloves it down and plays it in front. Here comes Schwab through center, lays a big hit. Gets a big hit from Scary. That was almost a scary hit from Connor Scary.
You've got chili dogs and scary hits.
Jake King kept in at the line once again by Utah, and Friesen will just slap it out. Corey at the red line. Now across the blue. Into the middle. It's turned over. Here comes the Sun Devils back the other way. It's Caden Butler with one goal already off the left pad of Grelich. Butler will pin one against the boards behind the net. Utah clears. Schwab stops up, dekes around Gross. He falls to the ice. The natural forward playing defense tonight for head coach Johnny Walker. Kylie Ram will drop it for Butler. He'll fire off the blocker of Grelich and into the corner. Gross pinching down low. Pass thrown in front. Utah steals. Out to center, but Chase will recollect. Just throw it right back to Utah. Newland around his own net. Chip it off the boards. It's Gibney. Now it's Sendin. Off a leg in the neutral ice of Owen Cross. It's been just a little back and forth action, almost some ping pong match here between these two teams in neutral ice.
Yeah, I was just thinking, it seems a little chippy and uncontrolled on both ends.
Sendin throws it on net. Got through the blocker of Manning, but not into the back of the net. Shot fired once again from the point, this time coming from Bisson. And Manning will soak it.
We did get more of a crowd in here.
Yeah, fans are slowly starting to pile in from Mullet Arena. It's really evident behind the net of Grellich. It's basically a full standing section. You can kind of see it there out of the corner of your screen. Hot dogs among some of them. Foray behind the net. Still in the corner. Sun Devils come out. King poked on net by Fletcher. Manning with no trouble there.
Again, pretty chaotic play. Both teams seem like they're struggling to maintain control.
Yeah, just not a whole lot of control through 14 and a half minutes, 13 and a half minutes. Delaney will fire. He scores! Right off the draw, Matthew Delaney scored last night. He has another one here, and it's tied up at 1. They've been targeting that 6-hole on either side of Peyton Manning. This time, Delaney picks it. It's his 6th goal of the season from the point. And it's a huge one at that. It'll be Eli Fletcher with the assist.
Scored by number 21, Matthew Delaney. Delaney assisted by number 4,
coming
Eli
for that
Fletcher.
for Utah as they were pressuring pretty much this
Delaney
entire
from
first
Fletcher.
period. Very
the
little
goals,
offense from the Sun
6:26
Devils
remaining
besides their one power play
in the
goal.
first period.
Looking to add to it though. Kept in at the line by Olsen. He gloves it down. He'll chip it in, delayed offside for the Sun Devils. Rimmed around the boards looking for Nicholas Schwab. Faces a hit from Kush. We'll get it to the point. Marchant behind the rest of his teammates. Dumping attempt from Kennedy went off the linesman. Still some sloppy play. Sendin turns it over. Cross off the bench. Stood up at center ice and then pummeled from behind. Referees both raise their hand in the air. It will be a penalty coming as Cross goes right back after Nicholas Schwab, who sent him to the ice. And Marchant comes in to stick up for his teammate. I believe Marchant's going to get an extra penalty out of this. So after the Sun Devils were about to head to the power play for a Nicholas Schwab hit in center ice, here it is. Hit from behind. This Ty Marchant, who came in to support his teammate. Johnny Walker's given the referee a little bit of his own words. Cade Olsen is standing in front of the referee as well.
Now, this is one of the things that the Sun Devils struggled with last night, was just maintaining composure when things get heated. And Utah, it seemed like they started to figure out
Coincidental minor penalties on Utah. Number 17,
like
Nicholas Schwab, 2 minutes for roughing. On the Sun Devils, number 15, Ty Marchant, 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike conduct. Timeable penalties, 5:34 remaining in the first period.
So Schwab will head to the box for roughing. That was the hit in center ice. And then Ty Marchant will go off for an unsportsmanlike conduct, which will give us 4-on-4 hockey here. It'll be King, Butler, Cross, and Olsen, the 4 for the Sun Devils. Cross goes from defense back to his natural center position, but loses the draw. Delaney around the net has 1 goal already here tonight. That's not sending. That's Paul Waldhauser. Circles around and now will pick up some speed. Into the ice. Gross sticks him up. Butler gets the turnover. And King out into center will dump it around. Chasing after his own dump-in. King in the corner. Around the net, Olsen has to go off his stick and out. So Gross has to retreat, who's now back at defense after taking the face-off. That is definitely not something that you normally see. He'll give it to Butler. He's getting a couple of hacks and whacks from Corey. Right off the bench. Kazel. He turns it over. A lot of space now. It's with Lorilla. He'll walk in on the backhand. Now goes the forehand off the stick of Manning. It's a couple of hacks and whacks from Gross. ASU definitely looking to avoid another penalty. 59 seconds left in the non-coincidental penalties to each team. Here's the opportunity for Lorilla. Somewhat of a weak shot opportunity, but almost slipped through Hayden Manning, but he made the stop. 14 shots on goal for Utah, just 1 goal against Manning. He faced 13 last night and allowed 1 as well. Kylie Ram on the draw loses it. Thrown around the boards by Young. Going back for it is Sovivskal. Kylie Ram. Turned over, however. Schwab circling. Couple of sticks from Krasel. Newland behind his own net. Still with it. Schwab mirroring. Now it's Carter Newland. Looking to drop it for Krasel, but still has on his stick. Newland around the net. Looking for Sovivskal. Sun Devils turn it over. Schwab cherry picking. Utah looking for the long stretch passes. They almost send it into their own bench. Power penalties expire for both teams. Young, toe drag shot goes wide. Forey off the bench. Chase up the ice. Here come the Sun Devils back the other way. Kush throws it on net, goes a little bit wide. Gross off the bench as well, throws it on net from the corner. As Cole Bisson was behind his own goaltender with the stick to keep that one out of the net. Get a look at that. It almost was about to sneak through the legs of Joseph Grelich, but the stick of Bisson denied that opportunity. Just over 3 minutes remaining in this first period. 1-1 is where we're at. Huge hit in the corner from Caden Butler. That will come with a penalty.
Crowd loved it.
Yeah, he gave him a little two-arm shiver. But unfortunately for the Sun Devils, Johnny Walker is once again not happy. I'll send Utah to the power play. Another whistle was just blown. We'll see what comes of this.
They're talking with Coach Walker.
It looked like he was about to give him another penalty.
Number 24, Caden Butler, 2 minutes for boarding.
Walker's still talking with the referee. The linesman's about to drop the puck, but the referee is definitely not in position
Your
over
Sun
at the
Devils are
bench.
on the penalty
Still talking
kill,
with Walker.
powered by the Husband and Wife Law Team.
So it's Butler who heads off, I believe, for roughing or boarding. Face off to the right of Manning. Delaney at the point. Once again, a power play for Utah. Deflected by Schwab, goes wide. Olsen sends one to the ground. Corey. Circling, looking. Down low. Back to Corey. To Delaney. He has 1 goal on the night already. Corey fakes the one-timer. He'll now fire off a leg in front. That was Tonjes. Waldhauser to Corey. Back to Waldhauser. He'll fire off the crossbar and into the netting and out of play.
I think Manning actually got a piece of that one.
Well, thankfully for Dr. Ben's expertise, we'll get another look at that. It was Corey who gave it to Waldhauser, and he fires it. Oh, maybe he did get his stick on there. Thought I heard a little bit of a ping. Nonetheless, it's still 1-1. Schwab on the draw, back to Waldhauser. Gets a little bit of help from his teammate. Corey, down low. Cruise check, still with it. Back to Corey. Looking for a pass or a shot. He'll circle. Still circling. Across the ice. With Delaney. Back to Corey. Put the top for Waldhauser. Marchant steals and will send it down the length of the ice. 46 seconds left on the Utah power play. Failed to capitalize on their only power play opportunity so far. They'll look to add another goal. Here's Gibney. Down the left side, stops up and blows a tire. Goes in the corner. Chase will take advantage and clear. 25 left on the man advantage for the Utes. Lorilla out of his own zone will send it in. Olsen chasing back for it with Gibney. 3-on-2 behind the net of Manning. 6 to go on the power play for Utah. Thrown in front. Manning dives out into white ice to grab that puck and stop any potential opportunity as the Sun Devils get the kill. A little bit of a spider there from Hayden Manning, just lurching forward to get that puck. It squirted out in front. He took his first opportunity out to dive on it and get the whistle. 66 seconds left in the first period. Still tied at 1. Caden Butler's power play goal got things started, and then Matthew Delaney tied things up at 1. A breakout opportunity. Here comes the Sun Devils. Kush has to go off his stick. Grelich will just send it around his own net. Pinned up at the wall. Less than a minute to go here in the first period. Crowley gets it up for Forey. He's taken down. Tripped up. No call coming. Kylie Ram will send a backhander into the mid zone. Stick through by Bisson. Now getting some help from teammates as Sun Devils get the turnover. Here's Newland down the right side. He fires off the stick and into the corner of Grelich. 20 on the clock now. Utah with some pressure. Trying to chip it past 1. That was Tonjes. Chipped out towards center for King. It's with Butler now. He'll send it in. 8 to go on the clock. On the net with Delaney. 5 to go. Chase will fire. Slap shot on. Off the glove, and he'll cover with 0.9 to go. Almost a near goal-scoring opportunity for the Sun Devils. As there's still some tempers flaring as someone's going to head to the box after that. The Zamboni guy almost started to come out with the Zamboni, opened the door, but realized there's 0.9 left on the clock. We'll see what comes of this. Delaney just headed off the ice into the penalty box for Utah, so I believe the Sun Devils are going to have 0.9 of a power play here in this first period.
Win that face-off.
You know, we've seen it a lot throughout hockey, just the face-off win and the one-timer. It'll be Caden Butler in that position. We'll see who will take the face-off. King's going to just shoot it right off the draw. Tried to make it deke around. Nothing comes of it. So the Sun Devils will begin the second period with a full 2-minute power play.
21.
Power play they have already scored once
2 minutes
on.
for a face mask penalty. Time the penalty.
Matthew Delaney went off for a face mask, but in that first period, it was Caden Butler who got things started off on the power play. And then Matthew Delaney who tied things up at 1. That's where we stand after 20 minutes here at the Iceplex. Stay with us for the second period here on the ASU ACHA YouTube page. back here for the second period at the Iceplex. Arizona State and the Utes tied up at 1 after that first period. The Sun Devils will start the second period with a 2-minute power play. There's Utah's Matthew Delaney, who got a face mask penalty, something you normally see in football. But taking it to the ice here. Super Bowl Sunday tomorrow, the Seahawks and the Patriots. Dr. Ben, you going to be watching the big game tomorrow?
I am. I'm actually I'm doing something unique. Instead of just sitting and watching it at home, Parkins Movie Theaters has what's called the back lot. It's like a Dave & Buster's, but movie themed. And they're going to have it playing on all the TVs, so I'm going with the family. How about you?
I will be at Waste Management tomorrow, so I'll be on the course instead of watching the field, but I'm sure it'll be a great game nonetheless.
Well, there's a lot to watch at Waste Management.
Face-off won by Utah to start the second period, as they will send it all the way down the other end of the ice to begin the power play for the Sun Devils.
For those watching, I'd love to see it chime in. What are you guys doing for the Super Bowl?
Get your thoughts below. Gross will begin things for this ASU power play. King will chip it in, looking for Butler, as he'll come up with it. Gross coming to the net. Marchant has to go off his stick, throws it across for Gross. Sauce pass to Newland. Down low with King, up at the point for Gross. Matthew Gross walking down, looked for the stick of Newland in front, couldn't connect. Marchant with a nice keeping at the line. Jake King spins a backhand to Newland. While Rilla goes around, Sendin will send it down the ice. 60 seconds to go on the power play for Arizona State. Currently the Sun Devils are 1 for 1 on the power play here tonight. Gross down the left side. Looking for a pass in front to King, doesn't connect. Kept in by Butler for the moment, but Schwab gets his stick on it and clears. First goal coming from Caden Butler, his 8th of the season. The Sun Devils will restart in their own zone. Gross, who's playing defense tonight despite leading the team in every offensive category. Here's Butler. 1 power play goal already. Shoved to the boards by Sendin as they both go to the ice. Kept in at the line by Newland. Martian at the blue line. Walks to the center. Will fire into the glove of Grelich. And he holds on. A power play unit for the Sun Devils created some good scoring opportunities. See if head coach Johnny Walker keeps him out there. Marchant goes for a change. And so will pretty much the rest of the Sun Devils. Gross and Olsen will remain at the point. As mentioned, Matthew Gross playing defense tonight. He'll have it. 7 to go on the power play. Olsen keeps it at the line. Kennedy behind the net. Thrown in front, stolen away, right out of the box, off the bench. Here come the Utes. To Fletcher, he fires off the glove of Manning and behind the net. Utes were looking to use that penalty kill to an advantage as the guy came right out of the box, that being Delaney. Got the change as Eli Fletcher came off the bench. Here's Koosh. He'll throw a backhand in front, fired just wide. That off the stick of Ben Chase. And a knee-on-knee coming from the Sun Devils and the Utes. It's Kennedy behind the net. Fans wanting a call. Johnny Walker still arguing with the referees as to why that wasn't a penalty.
Thought I saw an arm go up by the linesman.
Fleming in the corner, 3-on-1 for the Utes. He'll fire up the pad, rebound. They score! Eric Gibney. It's a 2-1 lead for the Utes. As Johnny Walker is still looking for an answer from the referees. His palms are in the air. Here's the replay, just a textbook pop from Utah. That's standing for pass-off pad as they capitalize. Eric Gibney, his just 2nd goal of the season. The Salt Lake City, Utah native. Saw Caden Butler score for his hometown team in the Sun Devils earlier. Now
Utah
it's Gibney who
scored
gets the
by
goal.
number 27, Eric Gibney.
What did you see on that play,
Assisted by
Dr. Ben,
number
the
4,
knee on knee in
Eli
the corner?
Fletcher.
You know,
And number
it
12,
looked
Brady Schwab.
It looked nasty, but
Time to the
it
goal,
didn't look intentional.
17:08 remaining in the second
It
period.
almost looked as if Carson Kusch skated into the knee on knee.
Yeah, it didn't look like it was anything. I mean, it was definitely something that, if they were paying attention, could have been avoided. But
some jaunting from the fans.
Obviously had an impact on the play. That's going to frustrate Coach Johnny Walker.
Right after that knee on knee, Utah came down the other way and scored, and now the Sun Devils are going to get a penalty. I have absolutely no idea why the players are going into their defensive zone. They saw the penalty and immediately retreated to their defensive zone.
Time of the penalty, 17:08 remaining in the second period. Bench minor, unsportsmanlike conduct at 17:08.
I think it was a bench minor, unsportsmanlike conduct.
Powered by the
bench minor, yes it was. So it'll be right after the goal for the Utes, a power play for them to try and take a 3-1 lead. This could be a huge turning point in this hockey game. Marchant slaps it on net. Grelich will kick it behind the net. Arizona State with the turnover. Friesen, as Kruzchek will come out. The knee on knee leads to the goal for the Utes, and then a power play for them as well. Sun Devils need to take back control of this hockey game. Marchant clears it around and down. 1:23 to go on the power play. If you're just joining us, welcome. 2-1 Utah over Arizona State. They have a power play after just scoring. It's Corey. Throw it across the ice for Waldhauser. The point with Schwab. Goes to the defenseman, that being Delaney. Waldhauser in front, off the stick of Schwab. Waldhauser walking the offensive zone. Will fire off the blocker of Manning. Out to Delaney at the point. 43 to go on the power play for Utah. Bench minor penalty. The head coach, Johnny Walker. Matthew Gross is serving it for the Sun Devils. Here comes Arizona State out of the zone. Chase gave it up the ice for Kennedy, who will dump it in. I wonder if they get the opportunity, if the Sun Devils will look for a similar play that the Utes did after their power play expired. Get the guy coming out of the box. One-timer from Waldhauser goes just wide. Kept in, 10 to go. Another one-timer, this time from Laurilla off the blocker of Manning. 5 to go on the power play. Sun Devils clear. It's Kylie Ram.
ASU is back in full
Looks like
strike.
Matthew Gross left the box just a couple of seconds early. Referees didn't see it. Tonjes throws it behind the net. Hunter Friesen gives chase. Gross out of the boxes onto offense. He'll throw it to the middle. No one there. Tonjes will throw it on net. Deflected. Kylie Ram will put it through the crease and wide. Friesen goes behind the net. Kylie Ram forechecking. Ram to the boards by Colton Johnson. It's Corey up the ice. Here's Geffert. Tonjes back checking. One off the bench. Giving pressure to Olsen. He'll just have to throw it around the net for Keaton Tonjes. Here's Caden Butler, the goal scorer for the Sun Devils, through neutral ice. Still with it, will fire off the left pad and soaked up by Grelich, and he'll hold on. A hectic few minutes of play in this second period. 2-1 Utah. The penalty kill from the Sun Devils. Here's a look at that offensive attack and chance for Caden Butler. Nice move in the neutral zone to get around the defenseman, but was stopped by Grelich.
To your point, hectic, yes. More controlled, I think.
I would have to agree. It's a lot more of consistent possession as they just turn over the puck, but it's thrown in front, still there. Manning stuck out his pad, but didn't need to use it.
It's plays like that, you know, they're Sun Devils are doing a good job maintaining control, or at least composure, when things get that crazy.
There's Fletcher, who's given a forecheck. Utah around the net, throws it in front, in the air, slapped on net, whistle blows for a hand pass. That will send the play all the way down the ice, or at least it should, unless it's just going to be a whistle. They call a hand pass on the Sun Devils?
Maybe?
I mean, if you're in the defensive zone, hand pass.
Oh, right there.
Oh, it looked like he loved it down. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, it looked like it just was, yeah.
Nonetheless, it's going to be a face-off to the left of Manning. No need to take guesses. Shot thrown wide of Manning. Off the stick of Young. Thrown back into the corner by Khrushchev. Pressuring Butler. Looking for the chip up to Newland. Butler's still with it. Another keep-in, this time by Young once again. They'll send it back around. With Sovivskal. Utah across the ice. Young. Walks and fires. Stopped by Manning. High flip to neutral. Newland giving chase. Utah's offsides. They'll have to touch up. Butler takes control. Drops it to Kazel. Wasn't on the same page. Tipped in by Butler. Sun Devils will go for a line change. Grelich to Kore. To the middle. Khrushchev. Go across center and lightly tap it in. Utah currently doubling the shots of the Sun Devils and the goals. 2-1. Gross. Nice evade move at center ice. He's got some momentum. Fires a shot off the stick of a Utah Ute and into the netting and out of play. A very nifty move there by Matthew Gross at center ice. Take a look. Evaded the hit very nicely. But it was one of the sticks of the Utes that got in there to break up the play. Face off to the left of Grelich. Kylie Ram for the Sun Devils. Loses it though. Waldhauser across the ice was looking for Delaney. He'll have to regroup as it goes over his stick. Lorilla. A high deflection in neutral by Kore. On theme. Kick is good. We'll send it all the way back to the Utah zone. That was off the stick of Gian Kore, who had 1 goal, 3 assists last night for the Utes. 4-point night for him. Shot fired just wide. Chase throws it in front. Nobody's there for the Sun Devils. Kennedy to the point for Olsen. Marchand walking down. Will fire. A jumping Sun Devil was Koosh to avoid getting hit with that shot. He's got it behind the net. Pinned to the wall by Lorilla. Chase in the corner. Delaney holding him up. Sun Devils come away with it again. Marchand fakes the shot. Now fires. Deflected. They score! Koosh with the deflection in front. For Grelich. We're all tied up at 2. One of the better offensive possessions for the Sun Devils ends with that deflection in front by Carson Koosh. As much as you could draw it up for Johnny Walker, that was as perfect as it gets for the Sun Devils.
Goal scored by number 21, Carson Kooch. Kooch assisted
We're
by
all
number
tied up
15,
at 2 here at the
Tom
Iceplex.
Marchand. At number 4, Kate
Goes
Olsen.
to Manning
Kooch
in front of his own
from
net.
Marchand and Olsen.
Through Sharp trying to get around. Here comes the Sun Devils once again. It's Cross. Drops it for 1. That's Friesen. He'll fire off the crossbar. Kept in at the line by Kradzel. He'll fire. Scores! Brendan Kradzel.
Wow.
2 goals in
10
under a
seconds?
minute.
I mean, that was quick.
Sun Devils lead 3-2. Script has been flipped here at the Iceplex. Palms in the air from Grelich. He couldn't see anything. And that's a smart shot there from Brennan Kazel, who has played just 4 games this season and has yet to score until now.
The
what a time for that to
number
come.
16, Brett Gazel.
Sun Devils lead 3-2. 2 goals in 22 seconds.
22 seconds.
Unbelievable. Our shot behind his own net. The momentum meter has flipped to the Sun Devils. Utah looking to change that. They fire. A great block in front by Kylie Ram. Still there. Fletcher Manning with the stop. Here comes Kylie Ram. Just put his body on the line for his team. As in front, they score! It's a horror movie for the Utes. Connor Scary with the goal. Kylie Ram just a few seconds ago nonetheless, blocked a shot in front. He comes back the other way and dishes up a beautiful pass to Connor Scary as Utah is forced to use their timeout. Huge momentum flip here for the Sun Devils. I believe that's another goal in 37 seconds. So 3 goals in under 2 minutes for ASU. Wow. I believe it's going to be 2 goals in 59 seconds. That's unbelievable from Arizona State. Once again, another first-time goal scorer in Connor Scary. As if you're head coach Morgan Feeney on the Utah bench, you just have to settle your team down. You just won 5-2 the night before after a big second period, and here's the Sun Devils the next night doing the same to you. It was a good first period for Arizona State last night, and then they followed it up with a pretty poor second period, which saw 3 goals go in.
Scored by number 2, Connor
Now they're
Swery.
looking to
Swery
flip the
assisted
script.
by number 13, Tyler Kylie Ram. And number 24, Peyton Butler. Scoring from Kylie Ram and Butler. Time for the goal, 10:33 remaining in the second period.
I believe it's going to be 2 goals in 55 seconds for Arizona State. Shot fired wide. Here they come once again, a 2-on-1, now 3. It's King to Gross. He fires off the left pad of Grelich. Arizona State almost added their 4th goal in under 2 minutes. This game is completely flipped as they come out once again with another odd man rush. That time they went offsides, however. King with a nice toe drag across the blue line, but nothing will come of it. 4 or 5 odd man rushes for Arizona State. Here's the 3-on-1. It was King across the left, gave it to Gross in the middle, and it just caught the top of the pad of Grelich, who has seen an onslaught in this second period. Gross across the ice. Arizona State dumps in. Another shot thrown on Grelich. Stick to the corner. Send in. Gross keeps it in. Throws it around for Schwab. Waldhauser is breaking. Schwab will keep control. On the left side, it's Nicholas Schwab into the corner. Stopped up there by Chase. Luke Chase in the corner. Throws it to Gross. Utah just chipped it on net of Manning. Thankfully, he was alert and ready and made the stop. Corey steals in center. He'll come down the left and fire into the glove of Manning, and he'll flash the leather for the stop. This is now really where you want to see Arizona State shut this game down. You've scored 3 goals in under a minute, really taking full control of this hockey game. You can't allow for any stupid penalties. You can't allow for any unfortunate goals.
So for the first time in this game, Arizona's control, for the first time in this series, Arizona's controlling the game.
For sure. I mean, they really haven't had any sort of offensive pressure, any sort of offensive momentum until now. Marchant will throw it up the wall. Bisson keeps it in just for the moment, however. Kylie Ram tried to deflect it in, but it's going to be Scary who beats out icing. Sendin. Quast. Deffer will chip it out. Faces a check from Scary. Marchant gets it back from his D partner. Will dump it in. This time it will go far enough for ice, and Scary was not fast enough to beat that one out.
So reflecting on that, I wonder if Utah, as the obnoxious little brother, was using that control that they had to poke the Devils. Now that the script is flipped, can the Devils maintain composure?
To be Devil's advocate, I mean, can the Sun Devils do the same thing to Utah? They really haven't had any sort of that, but Utah comes down the other way and scores. Don't go anywhere just yet. Joseph Crowley makes it a one-goal hockey game. Just a harmless shot was blocked somewhere in front.
Yeah, it was blocked.
Found the stick of Joseph Crowley in front, and
goal scored by number 13,
he capitalizes.
Joseph
And that's
Crowley.
one of those opportunities that
Crowley assisted
I was
by
just
number
talking about
26,
earlier, where
Jake
Sun
Lorilla.
Devils can't allow for any
At number
unfortunate
4,
goals. And that came right
Eli
there.
Fletcher.
Cross was taken down.
Time
He was
to
looking
goal,
for a call.
8:30
Didn't get it.
remaining in the second
Colton
period.
Johnson. Utah looking to clear. Friesen keeps it in. Faces a check from Forey. Friesen in the corner. Looking at to the point. Finds Marchant. He'll fire a shot way wide. Friesen. Crowley checks him. Getting some support from Ducharme. But Fletcher will clear it out for Utah. Utah chasing to keep it in, could not. Ducharme gets it out. They'll have to regroup. Delaney circles it around his defensive zone. Sendin fires it on as Manning sends it out of play. An action-packed second period. We've already seen 5 goals combined from both of these teams. 3 for the Sun Devils, 2 for the Utes. Just seen Arizona State flip the script and take the lead. Face-off to the right of Hayden Manning. Ben Chase loses the draw. Utah takes possession. Flipped out towards center. Gloved down by Kruzchek. Sendin throws it on net. Stick to the corner by Manning. Ben Chase. Hahn just takes one to the ground. It's thrown in front. Oh, they score! Trevor Kruzchek. Throw that script out the window. It's a new game here at the Iceplex.
The Utes making sure that we have an exciting game to watch.
They've been doing just that. Trevor Kruzchek, his 6th of the season.
Utah goal
I'm having to do a lot of math here,
Trevor
Dr. Ben. I'm a
Kruzchek
broadcasting
assisted by
person.
number
I don't do math a whole
27,
lot.
Eric Giovanni.
2
number
goals in a
12,
minute
Brady
and 12
Schwab.
seconds for
Time to the goal,
the Utes,
7:18
which followed
remaining
3
in the
goals in
second
under a
period.
minute for the Sun Devils. We've had 5 goals in, what, 6 minutes?
Yeah,
It's been unbelievable.
you're doing okay with the math.
I try my best. Newland dumps it in. I can definitely tell you, though, that Utah is out shooting Arizona State. No math needed for that one. 31-18. But it's a 4-4 hockey game. Schwab into the zone, blocked by Gross, playing defense tonight for the Sun Devils. Thrown across. I mean, what a timeout call for head coach Morgan Feeney for the Utes. They had absolutely zero momentum, almost negative. Here's a shot from Waldhauser, easily stopped by Manning. He comes behind the net, and Luke Chase gives him the better. Then he tabletops the Sun Devil.
All you
Gross.
saw in the upper right corner with that little picture in a picture were feet.
Her feet. Unbelievable. But that timeout for Utah really has impacted this game. They go down 4-2 after leading 2-1. Give up 3 goals in under a minute. And then they answer back with 2 goals in under 2 minutes of their own. This game has all sort of action. Puck is chipped out, was looking for Kylie Ram. He's chasing. He beats out icing. But unfortunately for the Sun Devils in ACHA hockey, I believe if you don't make it to the hash marks before the puck crosses the end line, then it's just an icing regardless. That's a safety rule for a lot of these players. You don't want any collisions like that at that kind of speed. So, face off to the left of Hayden Manning. Just under 5.5 to go here in the second period. A 6-goal second period, 3 from both teams, is why this game is 4-4. Thrown around by the Sun Devils. Scary giving chase, gloves it down to his own stick. He still has it. Big back check there by Utah. It was Forey. Will try and dump it out. Kept it at the line by Olsen. Schwab has some, I believe that's Johnson. I was going to say Schwab has some ice on his back, but it was almost impossible to make out that number with that white mark. You can kind of see it there. Puck thrown across the ice. Goes to Young at the point. He'll fire it. Skies into the air and deflect it out of play.
A lot of chaos. No shots on net for either team in the past couple minutes.
I mean, the Sun Devils scored those 3 goals. They had maybe 4 or 5 odd man breaks in that stretch. And apart from that, they really haven't had any offense since. It's a mystery for sure. Friesen wins the draw in his own zone, however. Gross. Look to chip it out. He'll fire it all the way down the ice. Deflected in by a Ute, so no icing is called. Bisson to Sendin. Khrushchev takes control. Looking up the ice for Bisson. Schwab taps it to Bisson, who will throw it on net. Stick to the corner by Manning. Thrown around. Kept in at the line by Sendin. Blocked in front by Friesen. Was looking up the ice for Ducharme, but couldn't connect with him. Sun Devils will have to regroup. Gross walking down the left side, fires it across. Here's Tondras. He'll fire a shot of his own off the blocker. Rebound's still there. Sun Devils hacking and whacking. Couldn't bat it in. Sendin. Cole Bisson out for Khrushchev, who taps it forward for Schwab. Here comes Brady Schwab. It's thrown on in net. And Manning has to scarily chip to the corner. Friesen with cross. Deflected out of the zone. There's Corey to Sendin. He'll fire. Blocked in front. Gibney. One of the goal scorers for the Utes. The first of the period. Second of the game for Utah. Thrown on net. Once again, stick to the right by Manning. A long flip attempt out. Just a sacrificial clear for the Sun Devils, as it will be an icing. Dr. Ben, you're probably a much more knowledgeable person about the ACHA rulebook than I am. Is the team allowed to change after an icing?
It depends on. Yeah, it depends.
Of course it does. As most rules tend to do at this kind of level.
Yeah, I don't know the nuances of.
Fortunately, we do not have a rules analyst on this kind of broadcast. That would be very helpful at a lot of times, but fortunately that just doesn't exist for this level, so we'll have to go with the I don't know answer. Here's Waldhauser looking for Schwab. Chase takes control. The Sun Devils, who will send it in off the stick of Savivska. Taken down. Butler. Corey for the Utes. Dump it in. Offside is Utah. They touch up. It's Arizona State at the red line. Taken down was one. Penalty upcoming for the Utes. Butler tried to work his way to the net. He's taken down once again by Lorilla. One penalty coming to Utah. We'll see if they get a second one there. Referee signaling for a hold.
There's the first one.
That's the first penalty in neutral. That was the initial arm raise.
Well, I don't know if this is a second.
Lorilla's heading to the box. Yeah, and they're going to send both of them. So 2 penalties going for Utah. It's Lorilla and Schwab, Nicholas Schwab, going to the box. Actually, both have Jake Lorilla and Nicholas Schwab are countered with Zach Lorilla and Brady Schwab. So that gets really confusing. And to add on to that, Arizona State has Ben Chase and Luke
Utah
Chase.
minor penalties. Number
Sun
26.
Devils will take their timeout here in the second period.
Number 26 on Utah.
I think Lorilla's going to get a hold.
2 minutes for holding.
And I
Also,
think
number
Schwab is going to
17,
get a
Nicholas
dribble or a
Schwab,
hook.
2 minutes for hooking.
Yep.
Timeable penalties, 2:11 remaining in the
It'll be
second
Nicholas
period.
Schwab who will go off for a
Timeout,
hook. That was the
Sun
initial
Devils.
penalty, and then it was Caden Butler who was coming down the ice, and he got held up by Jake Lorilla. And the Sun Devils elect to take their timeout with an upcoming 5-on-3 power play. Power play tonight, which is 1 for 3 on their attempts. They went 0 for 5 yesterday. And this is a huge opportunity for the Sun Devils to take advantage of the maximum 5-on-3 power play that you can get without additional penalties. And it will be that first power play unit. Caden Butler, Matthew Gross, Carter Newland, Jake King, and Ty Marchant for ASU. 5-on-3 power play for the Maroon and Gold. Caden Butler gets it off the draw. Plays pitch and catch with Ty Marchant. Butler will walk to the middle, will backhand it to Gross. Gross for Marchant. Back to Gross. He'll circle. Looking to the net. Back to Marchant. To Butler. Back to Marchant. One-timer into the glove of Grelich. It comes out, though. Send it in the corner, and he'll send it all the way down. I don't even think that Grelich knew where that puck was.
I lost it.
You got like 4 camera angles over there. That's impossible for you to lose the puck. Caden Butler drops it from Marchant. Sun Devils slowly getting into the offensive zone. 1:13 left on the 5-on-3 power play. Gross. Holding. Butler. Behind the net is Newland. Back to Butler. To Gross. To Marchant. He couldn't pull the trigger. Couldn't catch it on the backhand and shoot. Newland. Behind the net for Butler, who just tries to jam it in on the side of the net. Gross, 52 on the clock for the power play. Throws it in front. Off the stick of Grelich. Utah's cleared. A bench of reps for the Utes. Near full line change for Arizona State. Kylie Ram is on the ice, as well as Olsen. They replaced Gross and Butler. Newland. 10-2s, Mohawking. Carter Newland, 23, under a minute to go in the first period, 31 on the clock. Marchant. Shot fired by King is blocked by Schwab. The one that's not in the box. Marchant will fire into the glove of Grelich, and he'll hold on. 11 seconds separates the clock and the penalty time. 23 in the period, 12 on the penalty. Both of them.
That was a great defensive play.
Right in front, yeah. It would be interesting to see. We saw Utah get an opportunity right out of the box after one of their previous penalty kills. If that happens again, they'll have a 2-on-0 with 2 guys in the box right now. If you're the defenseman for the Sun Devils, you really have to be alert and aware. As with a 5-on-3, Utah just got their centerman kicked out, so defenseman Karsten Senden is going to have to step in for the faceoff. And he wins it for Utah. The defenseman wins the faceoff. Zolson's in the corner, 16 to go in the period, 4 on the power play. Marchant Down low for King. In front for Grosso. Fire deflected into the net. Out of play. Utah has killed off a coincidental 5-on-3 power play. As now they probably have the momentum after that one with 10 seconds to go in the period.
It was a big play for Utah.
It was a big face-off, and when was the last time you saw a defenseman take a face-off? I mean, I guess you could say right now with Matthew Gross in the dock, but
yeah.
I mean, he's naturally a center, so it can't be too foreign for him.
Well, it's not that I don't see him all that often. I don't see him win them all that often.
Both are very true. With 3 seconds to go here in the second period. Time will wind down on the clock, and an eventful second period nonetheless, to say the least.
Utah
6 goals.
4, ASU 4.
About 5 of them
Shots
coming
on
within
goal,
about
period.
4 minutes of each other.
Utah 20
Tied
shots
up
on
at
net.
4 as
ASU
Utah was able to
12
kill
shots
off
on
a
net.
5-on-3 power play to end that second period. As Arizona State,
Well, that will be back in 15.
with that, Dr. Ben, he will send us to the second intermission.
Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
40 minutes of play through with 20 to go here at the Mountain America Credit Union Community Iceplex Arena. The Sun Devils and the Utes are tied up at 4. Colgan Herschel with you alongside Dr. Ben on the sticks as always. It was an extremely eventful second period which saw 6 goals, 5 of which coming 4 minutes apart. And this third period should see 2 teams compete for 1 victory here tonight.
Yeah, this is basically hitting the reset on the whole game. This is a 20-minute period that's going to decide this series.
Last night it was a 5-2 victory for Utah. A big second period in that game as well. 3 goals for the Utes. All 5 of their goals were sandwiched between the Arizona State 2 goals. Arizona State scored the first and last goals of the game. That would stand true here tonight. Arizona State did score the first goal as well. Utah is up and on their bench. Arizona State with a tamer start. This will be Delaney with a quick start for Utah. Sticked off of him by Olsen. He'll flip it out to center all the way down for an icing with just 13 seconds gone here in the third period. So a kind of quick start for Utah, and Arizona State just kind of chucked it out. It'll be Gian Corre who will go on to the draw for Utah. Had 4 points last night for Utah. He loses it to the Sun Devils. Ducharme flips it off the chest of Quast. He'll fling it into the zone. Delaney takes a check from Cross. Utah will come away with it through neutral ice. It's Waldhauser, drops it for Corre. He'll fire off the leg in front of Olsen, slams Corre to the boards. As there's no penalty, but the referees signal a hand pass and Corre on the ground, so they blow the whistle. I don't believe anyone will be going to the box for that hit, even though Corre is very shaken up. There's a replay of it on your screen. That coming from Cade Olsen, who slammed him into the boards. Faceoff will come out of the zone of the Sun Devils. It'll be Brady Schwab on the draw against Jake King for Arizona State. King leads the Sun Devil team in goals with 11. Does not have a point in this series so far. 16 on the season for the 6'3" Toronto, Ontario native. He loses the draw, and Utah will dump it off the glove of Chase. And quick pressure from Utah. King takes control. Up the ice. It's the Sun Devils. Butler fires off the leg. Goes behind the net. Tried to receive the pass right back from his teammate, but couldn't. Gross keeps it in the zone. Gets spun around. Pass thrown in front. Utah takes control. Stick in there from Newland. Frees the puck for the Sun Devils. A stretch pass from Gross misses the stick, but it won't go far enough for icing. Here's King out of the corner. Utah back the other way. Butler takes him down at center ice. Kruzek takes control. Forey off the bench will fire a shot into the chest of Manning as he will hold on. Manning came into play in the third period last night. Allowed just 1 goal on 13 shots. Tonight, he's played all 41 and a half minutes and has allowed 4 on 36. So a lot more action for Peyton Manning than last night. Nate Glenn got the start yesterday for Arizona State. He allowed 4 goals on 33 shots between the first 2 periods, and he was promptly chased. Here's Tyler Kiley Ram. Poke it forward, taken down. Friesen takes control. Utah regains possession. Stretch pass broken up by Marchant. He'll spin back to retain it. Cade Olson deflected in by Scary. He has the most recent Arizona State goals, but 2 goals for the Utes followed that, which is where we see ourselves right now at a 4-4 hockey game. Here's Fletcher. He dodges one. That was a diving Tonjes. Fletcher will shoot off the glove of Manning. Fletcher in the corner, takes down the referee. No penalty though. Kraft flips it behind the net. It's with Crowley. Up at the point, Delaney across the ice. Walking to the middle is Johnson. Fires and it goes into somewhere of Manning. He's still looking for it, and he finds it finally.
There he goes.
Little hidden puck trick from the Arizona State goaltender. We'll get another look at this. Shot fired. There's the other chance for Utah, which came in and out of the glove of Manning. 38-21 are the shots in favor of Utah. They have heavily outshot the Sun Devils in this series. Arizona State still has less shots combined between these 2 games than Utah had last night. Combined 44 shots for Arizona State. Utah had 46 yesterday. They flip it into the zone. Manning pads it to safety. Coming into the zone was Laurilla. He just throws it. Chase gets crunched to the boards by Kraft. He sends it all the way down the other side of the ice. Behind the net of Grelich. Taken back by control by Delaney. Goes up the boards. So Utah dumps it in. Base to Koosh. We haven't heard his name in a while. He turns it over. Drop pass, shot fired. Stopped by Manning as the water bottle goes everywhere. The net's flying. Stopped by Manning as punches are thrown and everything explodes here at the Iceplex.
Yeah, those nets move off the mooring occasionally. That was explosive.
This will be one of the crazier replays you see. It was the turnover by Koosh, a beautiful drop pass to Utah. He gets pummeled into the net. Unfortunately for Utah, they are wearing black, so they had the right idea of getting the black thing across the goal line.
Yeah.
Just not themselves, unfortunately. But it'll be a face-off to the right of Manning. It's with Corey.
They did get 2 shots on net for that. Maybe 1 for the puck and 1 for the helmet.
Yeah, 1.
Well, I guess their helmets are red.
Yeah, maybe for the body. I mean, if you're counting that, then they're going to get about 7 shots on goal. Send it at the point, will fire, deflected a couple of times before Gross comes away with it. He's got lots of speed out of his defensive zone. Will stop up just inside the blue line. Fires his pass off of a Utah stick. Sending for Utah. Dipsy doodles around Gross. He fires. Stopped by Manning. Waldhauser now turns it over. Gross once again. Identical play as a few seconds ago. This time, though, he'll just dump it in.
Shots on net or shots on net. I'll take them.
Yeah, just 22 for the Sun Devils in this game. Thrown in by Utah. Marchant spins off Corey. Nice edge work. Throws it off the glass. Thing went sky high. Turned over. Sun Devils will fire. Shot on Grelich. He stops and sprawls out to save it from any danger. Still some more extracurriculars after the whistle. We've seen a lot of pushing and shoving. It happened a lot yesterday too, I'm aware. And tonight it's been a little bit more under control for Arizona State. They haven't done too much, but actually they did do too much, and they'll get sent to the box. So it'll be a Utah power play, a Sun Devil penalty kill.
You know,
Utah is 0 for 2.
The bums need to step it up.
Sun Devil minor penalty number 9, Jake King, 2 minutes for slashing.
King goes to the box for
King, 2
slashing. Utah power play. Arizona State wins the faceoff.
In the third period.
Kylie Ram will
Your Sun Devils
fling it
are
all the way down the other side of the ice.
Powered by the husband and wife
Huge penalty kill here for Arizona State. Still tied up at 4. This would be a detrimental goal for Utah. As Arizona State's already taken their timeout. Both teams have, actually. Sun Devils looking to just clear it down the ice. Quast couldn't. Put it at the line by Delaney. Corey walking to the net, goes behind it. Delaney. Corey looking for Waldhauser. He'll find him. Waldhauser in the corner. Delaney looking for an option that checks the boxes. It's Waldhauser who fires into the glove of Manning with 63 seconds left on the Jake King penalty. As I can only imagine what Ben Chase is currently pointing at right now in the corner, but he was talking with Brady Schwab. There's the shot opportunity for Utah, but I would think that he would be pointing at the scoreboard, but like, it's a tie game. They're getting outshot. They're on a penalty kill. I mean, the scoreboard's not very helpful in this scenario, so be very interested to hear what he was pointing at, but Arizona State wins the faceoff and clears. Under a minute to go in the power play for Utah. Penalty kill tonight for Arizona State has looked very solid. Very minimal opportunities for Utah. So it's deflected into the zone. Gavin Barr gives chase. It's with Gibney. Shot fired from Lorilla. Patted away by Manning. Sun Devils clear. No high stick is called. Fans wanted it. Gibney trying to get around one. That was Olsen who sends it the length. 15 left on the power play for Utah. Jake King in the box for Arizona State. Lorilla stops up. Olsen giving him pressure. Barr across the ice. Utah looking for a shot. They take it. Blocked by Tonjes. Here's Lorilla across the ice. Was looking to play pitch and catch with Gavin Barr, but they weren't on the same page. Olsen tied up by Gibney. He throws it around. Tonjes. Johnson pressuring in. Gibney gets the puck right back. Gibney out of the corner. Tonjes is thrown to the ice, and Utah scores. Gibney takes advantage of a shaken up Sun Devil in the corner. Tonjes was thrown to the ice in a very scary hit. He was lying motionless for a couple of seconds. Here's a replay. There's Tonjes in the corner. Gibney just walked to the net. I mean, good heads-up presence.
Eric Giboni.
Eric Giboni,
assisted by number 18,
who
Holden Johnson.
had the wherewithal to know his team would have an opportunity to take advantage of a shaken up Sun Devil. Tonjes looks to be okay.
A little slow to the bench, but
7, get off the ice, you're brutal.
Fans are not liking it, clearly. Head coach Johnny Walker had a smile on his face after that,
Play it, you referee.
almost in disbelief. Referee is now talking with Chase, and guess what? And Chase, as Chase is arguing, Chase is kneeling down. Chase and the referee are still talking as Chase will go to the box. Or not. Looked like he was going to send up there.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, face-off at center ice, won by Arizona State. It's a 5-4 lead for Utah. A reminder, Arizona State used their timeout earlier in the game when they had a 5-on-3 power play to end the second period, which they failed to capitalize on. As Utah also used their timeout when Arizona State scored 3 goals in a minute. They'll deflect it into the zone. I mean, those are just a couple of storylines that could most certainly come back to be at the front lines towards the ends of this hockey game. Puck thrown in front. Sun Devils are offsides. It was a somewhat slow start to the period, and then the power play for Utah. Time had expired on that power play before Eric Giboni's goal. Puck flies over the stick of Butler. with Marchant in his own zone. King kicks it towards the Utah defenseman who flips it into his teammates. That was Jake Larilla. So a faceoff will come to the right of Grelich. Faceoff won by the Sun Devils. Here comes the Utes into the zone. Schwab dropped it, but it found the stick of a maroon and gold as Scary will come out. Across the blue line, across center, flips it in. Oh, the Utah players were huddling for shelter. Scary throws it around the net. Kept in the zone by Olsen. Olsen doing nice to keep it in front of him. Friesian giving pressure. Olsen back from Marchant. Will regroup for the Sun Devils. 11:20 left in this third period. Utah took advantage of a shaken up Sun Devil to take the lead here in the third period. Puck goes in on net of Manning. He'll just have to give it to the side. It's Sovivsky. Sovivskal. Dump it in. If I'm being honest, it's hard to tell if it's Sovivsky or Sovivskal. One of the roster says Sovivsky. The other one says Sovivskal, so.
I think it's...
How about we go with Danilo?
There you go.
His first name. Cross. Will flip it to the corner. Quast out to center. Ducharme giving chase. Game has slowed down a little bit. As a whistle blew, Ducharme had his hands in the air, and so does the referee for a penalty. Mark Ducharme will head to the box for the Sun Devils, as that will give Utah the power play once again.
Let's see if we can see it. I think it was right after I panned away.
We'll get the official call right here.
Number 92, Mark Ducharme, 2 minutes for interference.
Give him an interference call on the play.
Penalty, 10:20
An absolute must-kill for the Sun Devils here. Down one with what will be under 10 minutes to go after this power play expires. Marchant has some speed. He'll look to go on the attack here on the penalty kill. He's got Chase to his right. Marchant spins around one. Gives it to Chase in the middle. It goes off of his skate and onto the stick of Waldhauser. Paul Waldhauser across the blue line. Looking in front. Still surveying. Still looking. Still holding. Waldhauser spinning now to Delaney. Down low, Corey. In front, look for the stick of Khrushchev, couldn't find it. Waldhauser, he'll fire. Off the blocker, was going onto net, and then Luke Chase was able to get his stick in there and deflect it away from danger. Sun Devils want a penalty on the Utes, they don't get it. Corey into the offensive zone off the stick of Luke Chase. Back to the point, Delaney, across for Waldhauser. With Khrushchev, Waldhauser, Delaney. Miscommunication with Waldhauser. Arizona State looking to take advantage. Kylie Ram is taken down, and he has his hand in the air for a penalty, and the referee agrees. So Paul Waldhauser will go to the box for a hook. As head coach Johnny Walker is laughing on the bench.
We're trying to control the game, son.
There's so many questions I would have for head coach Johnny Walker after this game.
Utah minor penalty, number 15.
But it will be a 4-on-4 for 38 seconds, which is the remaining time in the Mark Ducharme penalty. And then he'll come out of the box, and Arizona State will have 1 minute and 22 seconds to go to work on the power play. They're 1 for 5 tonight. Utah wins the faceoff. Larilla's taken down. comes right back to him as he's on his knees. Utah will work out. Sendin. Rather Crowley. King, out of his off defensive zone, will go across center, will spin back. Cross. Checks his shoulder and will stop behind the net. Marchant drops it for Gross.
Your Sun Devils are
Penalty
back
for the
at
Sun
full
Devils
strength.
is over.
And at the
Power
Hudson
play.
White
Gross
team
walks
power
in,
play.
goes to the net. Great opportunity for the Sun Devils. Another shot is blocked. That one coming from King. And a penalty will be coming to the Sun Devils. As it looked like it was an interference call. So just like that, Sun Devils had a power play for 8 seconds. And head coach Johnny Walker just got ejected. That is either Jean-Jacques Cabot or Chris Zorza, the linesman here tonight, the referees here tonight, as Johnny Walker will head to the locker room and be the first of the Sun Devils. So Arizona State just got a penalty. I believe they won't get an additional one for the ejection of head coach Johnny Walker. It'll just be I guess a 10 in the game. He doesn't get 10 in a game. I have no idea what they put that down in the score sheet.
Sun Devils
4-on-4
minor
hockey
penalty.
once again.
Number
The Utah player is
24,
taken down. No call this time.
Hayden Butler,
Schwab
2 minutes for interference.
still with
Butler
it.
2 for
Will walk
interference.
to the net.
The
He'll fire.
penalty.
Blocked in front by
8:19
Luke
remaining
Chase.
in the third period.
Comes to Johnson.
Also,
Will
ASU
bank it off the boards for
needless
Khrushchev.
conduct on the head coach on the
Schwab will
bench.
fire off the
At
leg of
8:19.
Olsen as he has his stick slashed out, and another penalty will be upcoming. As it looked like the referee was reluctant to make that penalty call. Saw the slash, and you immediately look over at him. It's the same referee that's been making the calls all night long. So, after like 5 consecutive penalties, it'll be a 4-on-3 now for Arizona State. We've already had, this is the 6th penalty of the period.
I don't know.
Power play Sun Devils.
Utah minor penalty number 3, Carson
In the corner
Sendin.
right now.
2 minutes for
It'll be a
slashing.
4-on-3 power
Sendin
play
for slashing.
for
Time the penalty.
40 seconds.
7:57
And then the
remaining
Utah
in
player
the
will
third
come out of the
period.
box. It'll be
Your Sun
4-on-4
Devils are
once
on
again.
The husband and wife
And then
power
Caden
play-
Butler,
power-
who's serving the
Law team power play.
interference penalty that Arizona State took, will come out of the box for a power play. As Gross is trying to walk to the net, he is suplexed into the ground. I'm supposed to have the words. They're not coming out of my mouth right now. It's gross. With Marchant. Arizona State still trailing in this game. Would be a huge goal if they could score here.
Utah returns
Marchant
once
looks down low
again.
for
It's 4 on
Gross.
4.
4-on-4 hockey now. Across the ice. Here's King. He shoots into the chest of Grelich. One of the best scoring opportunities of the period for the Sun Devils. 35 seconds to go in the 4-on-4 before Arizona State will have about 22 seconds on the power play. Almost 50 shots in the game for Utah. Newland into the zone. Gives it to Olsen, who shoots, goes wide. That one might have been deflected in. Ton just back on the ice for Arizona State. Good sign for the Sun Devils. Waldhauser collects the puck, but he goes off sides.
So in 8 seconds, the Sun Devils will be back on the power play.
It's been one of those games where you kind of just got to keep watching to see what's going to happen. There's already been 38 penalty minutes in this hockey game. I mean, 10 of which are assessed to head coach Johnny Walker. Actually, probably
Your Sun Devils are back at full strength and on the power play.
there's probably been 12 assessed to head coach Johnny Walker, as they had a bench minor earlier in the second period.
That's right.
Chase gives it behind the net. Trying to work through his Koosh. 2 seconds and 1 in. The short power play for the Sun Devils is over, so we are finally back to 5-on-5 hockey. So that one is deflected out of play, and Dr. Ben. Oh my goodness. Please break that down, or that was just one of the craziest stretches of play. We saw 5 penalties in the span of about 3 minutes. Face-off one in the zone, in the defensive zone by Utah. High stick down by somebody.
Yeah, I don't know at this point. It just feels like someone combined ping pong and pro wrestling.
I think they combined about a million different sports. We've talked about football. We've seen some kicks for soccer. We've seen
it was a face mask earlier.
Suplex, face mask. I mean, oh my God. And with all of that, it's a 5-4 lead for Utah. The end of this regulation hockey game is coming up. Arizona State, without their head coach, without a timeout, will need something, and something quick.
You know, I think I know what's going on. You mentioned that you were going to be at the Phoenix Open tomorrow. They're just trying to give you a preview of what you'll see just in the crowds.
I was there today, Dr. Ben. I was there actually all week and managed to find myself on the 16th hole, and I can tell you from first person, it's a fun atmosphere for sure. Behind the net are the Utes. It's Gaboni. He's taken down. Puck thrown in front. Kennedy takes control. Turned right back over to the Utes. As it's flipped off Kennedy into the chest of Friesen. Those two players are on the same team. Gaboni takes control. He has the go-ahead goal for the Sun Devils. 2 goals tonight for him. Added an assist as well. That one's thrown off the glass. I believe a puck was sitting on the net. That one deflects off the mask of Manning and out of play. The referee was absolutely just confused. That puck went and hit the glass, and another puck fell from the net. And he was well close to calling that one dead. My, oh my. What was in the chat? Geo golly, something like that? Good golly, Miss Molly.
Good golly, O'Malley.
Gotta love the commentary in the chat.
We've also got a leg of my ego.
Oh, big hit there from Scary on Young. Off the leg of Chase, goes across the ice to Hunter Friesen, who will dump it in. Faces a check from Fleming. They go to the ground. Under 4 minutes to play here in regulation. 5-4 lead for Utah. Arizona State looking to make a comeback to avoid the series sweep. Behind the net of the Utes. Haven't done a whole lot of play-by-play in this period. It's been kind of difficult with the amount of action that we've seen, but it's been a great period nonetheless. We keep joking about how much action there's been. That shot from Luke Chase is blocked. That one stung Forey. Arizona State giving some pressure now, trying to make a push. Fleming tried to clear, couldn't. Gross throws it on net, stick to the corner. 3:10 to go. Utah looking to clear, they do. They just chip it all the way down the ice. It will go far enough for icing with a second in front of 3 minutes to go. As I think it was Kylie Ram coming off the ice. Chase Forey is hunched over heading to the bench. Someone got a stick in on Forey. Someone got a technical. There's basketball. Newland's in the box.
Looks like we've got offset. No.
Nope. Newland's going off. Coach Johnny Walker is currently watching from just beyond the bench, even though he was ejected not too long ago. We've seen it all here. You always see everything in ACHA, but this is an exception. This is unbelievable.
There we go.
Fletcher's in the box for for the Utes. There's head coach Johnny Walker in a familiar territory for him. He made a career just a few feet away from him with the Arizona State Sun Devils in the NCAA.
To watch his reaction.
I mean, do we have a shot of that still?
Let me see.
Of Johnny Walker,
Oh,
potentially?
I can get back to him.
Well, he's on his phone now, but I mean, him watching what's unfolding here kind of spoke for it
Yeah.
itself. I mean, he definitely has the passion, and we have 4 minutes on the board for Carter Newland. That's more time than it's left in regulation. 2 minutes on the board to Eli Fletcher. There's not too many games that go by in ACHA hockey where we don't see an ejection, I feel. I feel like it's well more common than in the NCAA games. Referees are still talking. Manning's now
Here are
coming
the
over to the
penalties.
bench.
On Utah, number
Wants
4.
Something.
So we're going to have 4-on-4 hockey for 2 minutes, I think.
I believe you're correct. And then
Or tennis.
and then
or
the Sun Devils
football.
will go to the penalty kill. The penalty just came off the board actually for Eli Fletcher. And now the penalty to Carter Newland is downgraded to 2 minutes.
So here are the penalties.
And the Sun Devils have 4 on the ice. Utah has
It
5.
has 5.
Here are our penalties.
Here come the penalty calls from
On Utah, number
In
4,
between the
Eli
benches.
Fletcher, 2 minutes for roughing.
Fletcher gets 2
On the
minutes for
Sun
roughing.
Devils, number 97, Carter Newland, 2 minutes for roughing, 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike conduct, and a 10-minute misconduct.
And Carter Newland will
Time to call
get
penalties,
4
3:01
penalty
remaining
minutes that
in
will
the third
affect the game
period.
and 10 penalty minutes that he will not like. He's in the locker room right now, but the Sun Devils, who are on the penalty kill right now,
I think.
which for them is honestly lucky, because if they had it what it was on the board originally with 4 minutes for them and 2 for the Utes, it would have been 4-on-4 up until the last minute of play of regulation. So now the Sun Devils will actually have an opportunity of even strength hockey if they can kill this off. Delaney with Waldhauser, a goal for the Utes could ice this game completely. Delaney, Corey. Can't imagine they're going to be too reluctant to shoot. Just kidding. Corey on net, and Manning soaks it up. 2:22 in the third. It's a 1-goal lead for the Utah Utes. They're approaching the half-century mark in shots with 49. I mean, Johnny Walker is just sitting to the left of the bench, and he probably wishes he could do something, but honestly, as a head coach, I don't really know what you can do in this kind of situation.
At this point, you just want to make sure your players are safe.
Exactly. That's the number one priority for sure. Waldhauser out of the corner. It bounces off the stick of Delaney, so he'll have to retreat. Just a minute separates the penalty time to Carter Newland and the game clock. 2 minutes to go here at the Iceplex. Utah still holding on to that 1-goal lead. It's with Delaney behind the net. Waldhauser. He's looking for a pass. Has Corey. Good stick in front there. Here come the Sun Devils. They have an opportunity. Shorthanded. Gross with the 2-on-1. Has Butler to his left. Gross shoots. Just misses it to the right. What an event that would have been if that one had crossed the goal line. Waldhauser to Corey. He'll shoot off the glove of Manning. Waldhauser behind the net. 23 on the penalty to Newland. Kept in at the line by Larilla. Corey across the ice, deflects. Will it come out of the zone? Yes, it will. 14 on the penalty clock. You have to imagine the Sun Devils are going to look to press here with 65 to go on the clock. Corey across the ice. Sun Devils are back to full strength. A minute to go here in regulation time.
Third period.
Crowley will just dump it around. Tonjes to Olsen. Sun Devils need to get it up the ice quick. Utah pressuring it along the boards. They're reluctant to do that. Here's Tonjes. Sun Devils need to get going here. Here's Kush. He's got King to his left. He stops up. Manning goes to the bench. 6 attackers now for the Sun Devils with 34 to go. Puck comes out of the zone. Goes right back in, however. King gives chase. He crunches one to the boards. Marchant, 22 on the clock. Sun Devils have to hurry. Olsen up the ice. Shot fired on. Is soaked up by Grelich. And that's huge for the Sun Devils because with 14 seconds to go, they have an opportunity to set up now in the offensive zone and get the guys they want on the ice. There's the shot into the chest of Grelich, who has made 25 of 29 here tonight. Peyton Manning made 45 of 50 so far. 6 on the ice for the Sun Devils. Looks to be Olsen with Scary and 4 others. Puck is flown right over by us all the way down the ice. 7.5 seconds to go. Unfortunately, Arizona State doesn't have their timeout, or else they would almost certainly be using it right now. They have to look back to that 5-on-3 power play to end the second period as an unfortunate result. Marchant, Scary, Butler, Gross, King, and Olsen are the 6 for Arizona State. Face-off won by Utah. They'll slap it down the ice. 5, 4, 3. Can they beat out the icing? With 1.4 is Marchant. I don't think I've ever seen a skater go as hard back to his own zone to beat out an icing than Ty Marchant did, but he gave the Sun Devils just an eke of life. Sun Devils need to just get a shot right off the faceoff. I think Gross is going to just try and win it back to Marchant or just shoot it. Puck is dropped quickly, but it is not enough, as that will do it from the Iceplex, but not without a little bit more pushing and shoving after the clock expires. It's a series sweep for the Utes. They wave goodbye to the Sun Devils. It's a 5-4 victory for Utah. A 2-0 series sweep here in Arizona. It was a unbelievably hectic game. I mean, so many penalties, so many penalty minutes. A combined total of 54. 7 power plays for the Utes, which they didn't score on any of those. 6 power plays for Arizona State, just 1 goal for them. 50 shots on goal for Utah to 29 in Arizona State. I mean, props to the goaltenders of the Sun Devils. They faced almost 100 shots between these 2 games.
That's
46 last night and 50 here tonight.
They weren't easy wins for Utah.
Definitely not. No, the Sun Devils gave it pretty much all that they had. I mean, a couple of ejections, a lot of pushing, a lot of shoving, a lot of goals, 9 of which in this hockey game. It was the first one from Caden Butler, followed by Matthew Delaney 7 minutes later, and you wonder why I talk about how far apart those goals came. Well, 2 minutes into the second period is Eric Capone, and 8:32 and it was Carson Kush, which started a streak of 5 goals between the 2 teams in 4 minutes. It left us at 4-4, and then the 1 goal for Utah for Eric Capone. As Jake King is still talking with the referees even after this game is over. He's the last Sun Devil on the ice. We're going to have a prayer at center ice, I believe, for Utah. But from us here at the Iceplex, Dr. Ben on the sticks has worked his magic once again, put together an unbelievable broadcast. But for him, just to my right, my name is Colgan Herschel. Thank you for joining us on this absolute adventure, this absolute ride that we have seen here at the Iceplex. The final score is 5-4 in favor of Utah. But for that, from Tempe, Arizona, we will say good night.